Driving has been normalized.
There's a common phrase among urbanists that goes, "You're not stuck in traffic, you
Yo,
are
Jill.
traffic," referring to drivers who complain about
I don't know what I was gonna say then, but okay.
congestion, not realizing that they are contributing to it. Suburbanites will say that the city is noisy, not realizing that most of that noise comes from suburbanites driving their cars into the city. Some people will complain that building bike lanes or transit lanes will make pollution worse because cars will spend more time idling in traffic, not realizing that providing viable alternatives to driving will mean fewer people need to drive.
I don't understand what he's saying. Too much big English words, man.
Place. British psychologist Ian Walker refers to this as motor normativity.
You see, this is what I mean. Big ass words, bro, that I don't understand. I have never heard that word in my entire life.
Also known as car
Is it even a real word? We're gonna find a way. Wait.
brain.
What?
Many cities in North America are designed exclusively for cars. It didn't used to be that way, nor does it have to be. But because driving is so normalized, people view cars as the default form of transportation and can't comprehend how it's possible to live without them. Car crashes and dangerous driving are seen as
You know what? It's true though. You really can't live without a car. Come on. If you need to go to the shop, you have to drive. If you need to go do something, you need a car. If you want to go to the gym, you need a car. What do you want me to do? Just walk around everywhere? No, come on, man. Life is too short to waste time. A transport like a car is to save time. Duh.
It's unavoidable. It's just an everyday part of modern
It's true though. It is unavoidable.
life. I mean, there's an entire genre on YouTube with thousands of videos dedicated to car crash compilation.
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing. So, since there's so many car crashes, complication, what I don't know what it's called. So you're telling me every time there's a not a car crash, every time there's a plane crash, what does that mean then? So shall we stop planes then? Like, what?
And there's even an entire TV show called Canada's Worst Driver that has over 14 seasons and 115 episodes.
That seems
Stopped
interesting.
at a green light. You're stopped at a green light?
Yes.
This assumption that everyone should drive and has to drive results in many bad drivers on the road because, believe it or not, some people are just not cut out to drive. And that's completely fine. Yet, we consistently build cities exclusively for cars and design streets that prioritize vehicle speeds rather than the safety of people. We need to change the way we approach road safety
How much you want to bet that this guy does not have a driving license?
because, as of now, bad driving has become normalized.
What are you saying, fam? Yo! What, fam? Yo!
Toronto's most notorious speed camera was just taken down by vandals.
Not only are full self-driving cars 1,000 times safer, it would fix traffic, and you'll be able to drive everywhere at like 120 miles an hour.
In March of 2020, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, U.S. Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin made this statement. "We don't shut down the economy because tens of thousands of people die on the highways. It's a risk we accept so we can move about." Over 40,000 Americans die each year from traffic collisions, and
Wow.
hundreds of thousands are severely injured,
R.I.P.
many of which face permanently life-altering conditions. To put that into perspective, that's equivalent to a fully loaded Airbus A380, the
Wait, what? Snowing here? Snow warning just issued. What?
commercial aircraft,
Why is it snowing in Feb?
crashing into the ground and killing everyone on board every single week. This has reached crisis levels as pedestrian fatalities have increased dramatically over the past decade, a trend not seen in other developed countries.
Okay, I'm gonna argue with that too. Obviously, the rate of like fatalities will go higher. Why? Because there are more people in the world. You get me? You get
So
it?
no, it's not because of cell phones. But in America, we brush this off as being the cost of doing business. That's just the price we pay to keep the wheels of the economy turning. The two biggest culprits of this are vehicle speed and vehicle size. Anyone who knows a bit of physics understands that the formula for kinetic energy is half an object's mass times velocity squared. So as cars get
What's that? What's that? What's
bigger
that?
and heavier, and as people drive faster, the chances of dying from a collision increase exponentially. But in the US and Canada, it's widely accepted to treat speed limits like suggestions, that it's okay to drive 10 or 20 over the speed limit because everyone does it, and the police aren't gonna bother ticketing you. One study finds that 42% of drivers don't even consider themselves to be speeding.
It all depends though, doesn't it, really? It all depends. If the road's empty, then I mean, like, why not? You know what I
Until
mean?
they're 10 to 14 miles per hour.
Like, look, Harry, if you got an empty road, like, there's no people, there's no houses, there's nothing, just like empty bloody road, you have nothing there. You telling me you're not gonna put your foot down a little bit?
Or over the speed limit. One psychological reason for this is that the vast majority of drivers don't face any consequences for driving dangerously most of the time. Speeding, running red lights, and driving while impaired happen very often, but for an average person, the chances of getting into a collision are pretty rare. I mean, if it wasn't, nobody would be driving. But this makes many drivers overconfident. They see that their actions don't have immediate consequences, so they're much more likely to keep doing it. Studies show that most people believe they are better drivers than they actually are, and people tend to underestimate the risks that come with breaking the rules. Speed is one of the biggest reasons why cars crash into buildings so often here in North America. The official number is poorly documented, but
What
this is
the-
estimated to happen at least
Oh my god, imagine, wait, good. Oh, the most replayed,
Estimate
but
the
wait,
risks
wait.
that come with breaking
I'm gonna replay it too.
the rules. Speed is one of the biggest reasons why cars crash into buildings so often here in North America. The official
Okay, what are they buying? What is that? Hot dog? Oh, look at her. She's on her phone. Don't know what he's doing. He's collecting his order. She's ordering food. Fuck yeah, you fat shit. And then,
number is poorly
boom, out of nowhere.
documented, but this is estimated
Caught
to happen
into the
at least
building.
100 times a day in the US, and many experts still think that's an undercount. Cars crashing onto sidewalks have also become so common that this was a genuine tweet from the Colorado State Patrol. They're basically telling people to only walk one way down the sidewalk so you can make eye contact with the distracted driver who's about to kill you. I mean, it's not like there's anything we can do about it. When we try to do enforcement through speed cameras, speed traps, or ticketing, many people scoff at it, claiming they're just cash grabs or that they're useless. They'll claim that speeding is actually safer because you're just going with the flow of traffic, which
True.
is true, but
Yeah.
everyone is still speeding. Some people will take this further and go out of their way to block or destroy speed cameras. In Toronto, there are over 500 cases of this in a single year, and one particular camera was spray painted on 31 times over the span of just a few. Side Drive, a street that's notorious for speeding cars, aggressive driving, and
Toronto.
frequent collisions.
Isn't Drake
over the
from
past
Toronto?
10 years, there have been over 1,400
Okay.
collisions on this road, leading to 5 serious
I think that's the only guy I know that is from Toronto. Toronto. Is Drake from Toronto? I don't know.
injuries and 3 deaths. After a collision in 2021
Wow.
involving 5 vehicles and the death of a 70-year-old couple, the city of Toronto reduced the speed limit and installed a speed camera, which has since issued over 63,000 tickets and generated nearly $7 million, making Parkside Drive one of the most ticketed roads in Toronto. According to the city, these measures have reduced the average speed, but some vehicles were still caught going over 120 kilometers an
Okay.
hour.
Okay, now 120, that's taking a bloody piss now.
The only thing here that's keeping people from driving faster is all the traffic. That speed camera was vandalized earlier this year because, of course it was, and recently, someone chopped it down like a tree. A few days later, the city put it back up, but on the same day, someone chopped it down again.
Oh, just give it up. Just give up. Just give up. Allow it.
I
Just
don't think
allow
speed
it.
cameras are effective at reducing speeding, and there are much better ways of slowing down cars, which
Bumps.
I'll get to later. But it really shows just how normalized it is for drivers to break the rules when cyclists are constantly scrutinized for rolling through a stop sign, while this is considered heroic. Traffic collisions have become synonymous with the term accident, as if these collisions are unexpected and unpreventable. Recently, I've been really into those airline crash documentaries. You know those videos that dive super deep into aviation incidents and why they happened? If you watch any of those, you would know that crash
No, I might have to watch that. That might be my next video.
investigations are complicated. They don't just blame the pilots and fire them. They go super deep into all the underlying psychological and systemic factors that led to the crash. The airlines restructure pilot training and adopt stricter maintenance procedures. The aircraft manufacturers improve their technology and quality control. Well, unless you're Boeing. But the point here is that it's complicated, and it's all done so that we're 99.9% sure that a similar crash won't happen again.
One thing, if you lot have never been on a plane, any of you lot, don't even bother. It's overrated. It's not all that.
Now compare that to the way we treat car crashes. In North America, there's a huge emphasis on personal responsibility. Whenever a car crash occurs, the conversation is always about whose fault it was. That person did something wrong to cause the crash, and if we
true.
all be more careful next time, we can avoid those crashes.
It's
They're
true.
always blamed on the behavior of individual road users, as if that's the only factor that leads to crashes.
It is true.
They'll say that our roads aren't inherently dangerous.
What
Stupid people
the
are
hell?
dangerous.
True.
This is one of the main arguments people
I
make
agree.
for autonomous vehicles. Driverless cars will remove human error from our roads. Our cities will be safer than ever.
Why have you covered the logo? We all know what car this is, man. It's the Tesla, man.
You'll sometimes hear about the techno-utopian future where every car is self-driving and communicates with each other in real time, allowing them to flow through intersections seamlessly. But man, I would hate to have to cross this thing. The very first fatal collision involving an autonomous vehicle happened here in Tempe, Arizona. A woman jaywalked across this road at night and was
Oh my
hit by
God.
one of Uber's first autonomous vehicles. The crash report concluded that the person in the vehicle was at fault for not paying attention, the woman was at fault for jaywalking, and Uber was at fault because their vehicle didn't even classify them as a pedestrian until 1.2 seconds before the crash. But do you really think people have the attention spans to just sit in a self-driving car and look out the window in case anything happens? Back in 2013, when
you're
Google was
right.
first testing its autonomous
You're
vehicles,
right.
they gave it out to several employees, telling them to always pay attention, never take their hand off the steering wheel, and that hidden cameras would be watching
Then what is the point of a auto self-drive? Well, no, what is the point of a self-drive car then?
them.
I might as well drive myself then. No.
Despite these warnings, people were texting, putting on makeup, and falling asleep,
Sick.
all while they were driving on a highway.
That's
There
right.
have also been several cases of people getting arrested or killed while riding in a driverless Tesla, despite Elon Musk claiming that they are feature-complete, full self-driving. People just become reliant on technology very quickly, so if drivers are expected
Mate, Elon, yeah, he's a bloody billionaire. Why would you ever trust a billionaire? All billionaires just lie, bro.
to manually take
Why would
over
you
when
believe him?
something goes wrong,
Of course he's gonna
what's
lie.
going to happen when people start driving less and lose their driving skills? Amazing.
Nah, that won't happen, man. That won't happen. Everyone that's played GTA before, we all know we could have known how to driven since we were 10. Anyone that's played GTA and driven a car, we all know. When we were 10, 11, we knew we could drive a real car. We knew
Allows us to push the limits, add backup cameras to vehicles, and people might stop looking over their shoulders. Add lane change assistance technology, and people might stop using their mirrors. It would be
Mirrors.
naive to think that technology will just make all our problems go away without introducing new problems that we didn't even consider before. Going back to that crash in Arizona, this is where it took place. It's effectively a 4-lane highway sitting right beside a park and a concert venue. Before the crash, this median had a decorative brick pathway, which looks a lot like a pedestrian path. Yet there isn't a single crosswalk unless you walk nearly 400 feet to the north or 2,700 feet across the river to the south. But instead of actually adding more crosswalks and redesigning the
I wonder how much the lady got paid that got run over, because you know what? I heard American people, they love suing each other. They sue each other all the bloody time and they get paid like 100k, 200k, 300k. I wonder how much she got paid out.
road to slow down cars, the city replaced
Probably
the
9
brick
million.
pathways with rocks. and added more signs prohibiting pedestrians. This is ultimately the issue here. Traffic engineers actively design roads that are hostile to people walking for the sake of speeding up cars. So is it really a surprise
Why
that
was so tired?
speeding and road safety are such major issues here? We already have these solutions to our transportation problems, but most of them involve slowing down the cars, which is just unacceptable for American cities. Instead, we get told that better technology and self-driving cars will solve all of our problems without
Maybe.
fixing the underlying issue, which is our inefficient and dangerous car-dependent transportation system. It's like a drug addict claiming he'll be rich and successful without changing his unhealthy addictions. Decades of road safety research and best
I mean, you never know. You never know. You never know. Don't judge anyone. You never know. You never know.
practices from around the world show that road and street design is one of the biggest factors in speed-related collisions. Wide, flat, and straight roads make it easy and comfortable to drive at high speeds. But narrow streets with curves and obstacles like trees or bollards will make drivers uncomfortable driving too fast and reduce the damage if a crash does occur.
True.
We need to accept that when a driver
Oh,
crashes
my
onto
arm.
the sidewalk, they are the ones to face the consequences and not the innocent people walking on the sidewalk.
No
A
one
great
gonna help
example
him?
is the Vision Zero strategy first adopted by Sweden in
I
the
mean,
90s,
I'm not gonna read that.
or the sustainable safety approach
Not
from
gonna
the
read it.
Netherlands. When a crash occurs, human error is considered, but they also
You wrote Netherland. You wrote Netherland wrong. It's Netherland. I don't know how it is, but I'm pretty sure it's not spelled like that. I am from Europe, me.
look at how the environment and the design of the street can be changed to avoid future crashes.
Netherland.
This is how Oslo, the capital of Norway, achieved 0 pedestrian fatalities in 2019. Hoboken in New Jersey hasn't had a single pedestrian death in the past 7 years after the city redesigned several intersections to improve visibility. Going back to Parkside Drive, the city has proposed redesigning the street and adding bike lanes, which are proven to make streets safer for all road users. But this has upset many people because it would slow down vehicle travel times by 1 to 3 minutes. Mind you, this is a street that runs right in between a residential neighborhood and the largest public park in the city, with sports facilities, playgrounds, and a zoo for children. So I really don't agree with framing this issue in terms of traffic flow as opposed to safety. But you'll see this constantly. People opposing road safety improvements
No
like
lane
bike lanes,
reduction.
even on small residential neighborhood streets, or even major streets that are lined with shops and have rapid transit under it. They actively fight against infrastructure that will save people's lives, all because it would slow down their cars by a few minutes.
Why am I so tired?
If you were to
Oh.
go back 100 years, however,
Oh,
this
maybe because nearly 1 a.m. in the night, and I'm recording this video. The dedication.
attitude would be completely different. In the 1920s, it was perfectly fine for people to just walk across the street. Streets were universally recognized as shared
They still do this in Pakistan and India, mate.
public spaces. But as cars became faster and started killing thousands of people every year, they were viewed as deadly intruders, and people overwhelmingly wanted strict regulations like speed governors on them. Whenever a motor vehicle struck someone walking, the motorist was fully responsible, because, you know, they were the ones driving a big fast vehicle on a busy street. The auto industry knew that cars were fast and deadly, but tight regulations would destroy their profits. So they spent millions of dollars on massive campaigns to redefine the streets as a space exclusively for cars. They lobbied the government and actively fought against measures to limit their speed. They sponsored school safety campaigns to brainwash children, and they invented the term jaywalking to shame people for crossing the street. Within just a decade, the auto industry had gaslighted everyone into believing streets were motor thoroughfares, and people walking were now the intruders rather than the victims. Today, the way we treat bicycles and electric micromobility is the same way we treated cars back in the 1920s. When it comes to cars, we're willing to sacrifice safety for the sake of speed and convenience. But when it comes to bicycles or scooters, they're treated like a major safety hazard.
Oh, they are.
Sure,
They are bloody annoying. Oh, I hate
There are
them.
cases where e-bike
You know where I live in England, mate, you got people on bloody horses in 2026, bro. You got people on bloody horses on the bloody road.
riders have injured people on the sidewalk, but the vast majority of fatal collisions and injuries are caused by cars. And we don't pay much attention to this anymore because it's so normalized. Micromobility isn't the problem, it's part of the solution. Encouraging people to cycle instead of drive will make our streets safer, because the safest car trip is the one that never happens in the first place. Here's the thing though, in many parts of the US and Canada, you literally cannot go anywhere without a car, which means that children and people's grandmas with poor eyesight are forced to drive. Otherwise, they have no independent mobility at all. Yet, as soon as a child turns 16, learning to drive is seen as a rite of passage, a step they take to finally become an adult. That learning to drive grants you the freedom and independence to go wherever you want. And if you don't do this, people look down on you and tell you to grow up, how other people have to drive you around for the rest of your life. Or they'll assume you're just a drunk driver who got their license taken away. Car dependency forces people who don't want to drive or shouldn't be driving to drive. Sure, driverless cars might help, but a lack of accessibility is a problem inherently caused by car-dependent planning. So, are they really necessary? In many walkable neighborhoods, it's already common to see children or old people getting around by themselves and being fully independent. Even in the suburbs, like here in Markham, Ontario, this bike lane allows many seniors to safely bike themselves to this mall, which is a vital community gathering space for Chinese Canadians. AVs are not here to save the planet, they're here to save the auto industry. When I imagine a city of the future, I don't think of this. I think of this. Pedestrianized plazas that encourage people to
Oh, it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. He wrote Netherlands wrong again.
walk around and relax.
Again.
Massive transportation hubs with fast, frequent intercity trains and automated metros. High-quality bicycle paths and giant
oh my
bicycle
God.
parking garages to encourage active transportation.
Pissing me off.
And lots of greenery and rivers
Like, does that even look right? Does it look right to you? Netherland.
integrated into the urban fabric. Traffic, pollution, and road safety are simply not as big of an issue in these places, and they achieve this without any fancy sci-fi technology at all. There's so many good alternatives here that the only people who drive here are those that really want to or need to. And because those drivers likely walk, cycle, or take transit themselves, they're much more sympathetic to people outside a car. Are there bad drivers here? Yeah, probably. But bad driving is just not as
No, not probably. Yeah, there are bad
normalized
drivers.
as it is in
I'm not one of
car-dependent
them.
societies.
I'm not one of them though.
The solution is not banning cars, just like how we didn't just flat out ban cigarettes. But we did ban smoking from bars, restaurants, and most indoor places. We did force cigarette companies to cover their packaging with health warnings. Cars are obviously different. They're much more useful and have completely changed the way we travel and move goods. And sure, if you live on a farm in the middle of Nebraska, yeah, you probably need a car. This whole channel is probably irrelevant
No, not probably. Yeah, you do need a car.
to you. But cars are also much more deadly and destructive to people and the environment. So for most people living in dense urban areas, limiting cars from certain places makes a lot of sense. We can start by pedestrianizing streets and slowly building wider sidewalks and bike lanes. Once we've
Montreal.
expanded our public transit system and densified our downtowns, we can introduce congestion pricing and add stricter penalties for reckless driving. When smoking bans were first enacted and add
Look at this
stricter
guy. Look at this guy.
penalties
You seeing this guy? What?
for
Look at
reckless
him.
driving.
What you doing?
When smoking bans were first introduced, many
Someone tip
people
him
were
back.
against it. But after a while, people saw how great it was, and now you can never imagine going back. Likewise, congestion pricing in New York has made a lot of people upset because people don't like change, especially when it
You know
affects
what? At the end of the day, I am still gonna get in my car and I'm gonna drive. Done.